Obesity in children. First of all, we must know that obesity is a disease and not an aesthetic problem. Therefore, obesity must be addressed. This treatable disease appears in both adults and children. Obesity in children and adults is one of the serious health problems that we observe all over the world. If this situation is not prevented, children and adults have to deal with many diseases due to obesity. Children who are obese, especially in childhood, also have to deal with many diseases such as diabetes and cardiovascular disease. In addition to these conditions, it is known that these children develop obesity in adulthood if they are not treated, and these children suffer from diseases of the musculoskeletal system and breasts. The risk of developing diseases such as colon cancer increases. In our article we will focus on the causes of childhood obesity and talk about what needs to be done to prevent childhood obesity. What are the symptoms and causes of obesity in children? Obesity, as it is known among people, is an important type of disease that occurs due to the accumulation of fat in the body more than normal. This disease is a very important health problem for individuals in childhood. According to the announced data, 1/3 of adults became obese in their childhood. There are many causes of obesity in children. In general, these reasons are: obesity in both parents increases the likelihood of their children becoming obese by 80%. Obesity in one parent reduces the child's obesity status to 40%. Children living in cities are sentenced to restrictions on physical activity. In this case, as a result of overeating and lack of activity, the child faces the risk of developing obesity. Technological gadgets such as TV, tablet and phone also restrict the activity of the child and thus reduce energy consumption. Children's consumption of foods rich in carbohydrates and fats increases the risk of obesity. In addition, reducing the frequency of feeding is one of the risk factors that increase obesity. Diseases such as adrenal gland disease and thyroid disease cause obesity due to hormonal reasons. As mentioned above, factors such as familial causes, environmental factors, and nutrition are factors that increase the risk of obesity in general. What are the symptoms of obesity in children? Symptoms of childhood obesity can be caused by more than one cause. In general, the symptoms of obesity in children are: clothes that do not fit the child's body, having problems with physical activities, sleep disorders and snoring, you have difficulty breathing while resting or busy with work, exhaustion, early puberty, excessive sweating, arthritis, insecurity and anxiety. Many of the reasons that we mentioned above and many other reasons may indicate the occurrence of obesity in children. For this reason, families should intervene in the situation without delay and speak to a doctor and dietitian who are experts in this field. What are the problems caused by obesity in children? Obesity in children brings with it many health problems. In general, these problems are: childhood obesity leads to hormonal changes due to an increase in body fat mass. Excess insulin secretion in children leads to adult-type diabetes. Especially if there is this disease in the family, the risk of developing diabetes associated with obesity increases in children. Obese children may have problems related to reproductive functions. Precocious puberty, irregular menstruation, and hair growth may be seen in overweight girls. In addition, girls may experience delayed puberty due to obesity. Obese children can have high blood pressure. Hyperlipidemia may be observed in children due to a high level of fats in the blood. Respiratory disorders may occur due to obesity. These positions can make the child fall asleep. Bone disorders may also be seen in obese children. Obese children may also have psychological problems due to comparing themselves to their peers, and the child may develop depression. An increase in bad cholesterol, LDL cholesterol, and a decrease in good cholesterol, HDL cholesterol, have been observed in the blood of obese children. Gallbladder disease can be seen in obese children. In order to prevent the above conditions, families should have medical support. If they want their children to regain their physiological and psychological health, families must intervene immediately. How do we fight obesity in children? Although obesity appears due to hormonal disorders, childhood obesity is generally not seen due to hormonal disorders. Childhood obesity is usually extrinsic obesity due to overeating. In this disease, also known as simple obesity, children are taller than their peers. Apart from this obesity, childhood obesity can be caused by various disease. This condition is known as morbid obesity. Children with this disease are usually short in stature. So what should be done to control childhood obesity? First of all, children suffering from this disease should be regularly under the control of a doctor. Laboratory tests should be performed under the supervision of a physician by taking into account processes such as nutrition, physical activity, developmental status and family history of children. What is the treatment of obesity in children? Childhood obesity treatment is successful because the doctor, dietitian, and patient work together. Therefore, these three must work in cooperation. The most important goal of obesity treatment is weight control throughout the child's life. For this reason, regular feeding of the child and sports should be a part of his life, and the child's family should be made aware of this problem. What should be done in the treatment of obesity in children in general? It is necessary to reduce the energy that the child must consume and increase the energy expended. For this purpose, at least 30 minutes of daily exercise such as walking and jogging should be determined according to the history of the child, and the frequency of exercises should be increased depending on the date. A child's diet needs to be regulated. The baby's diets should be prepared by a dietitian under the supervision of a doctor in accordance with the child's body structure. The diet menu to be prepared should include main meals and snacks, often small meals. With the right applications, you must be sure to take in the iron, calcium, vitamins and zinc that the child needs for growth. In the treatment of obesity in children, drug therapy and surgical interventions are not used. By paying attention to the above factors, ways are sought for the child to continue his life in a healthy manner and in line with the same growth as his peers. What should be done to prevent obesity in children? In order to prevent childhood obesity, the family should act consciously. If they want their children not to have obesity problems, families should pay attention to many situations. These situations, which families should pay attention to, are generally: breast milk is very important. Having a baby through breast milk reduces the risk of obesity. Children should be directed to physical activities at school. In order to prevent children from constantly eating, it must be ensured that they acquire hobbies that will take advantage of their free time. Families with children should avoid fatty foods and junk foods known as junk foods. Children should be accustomed to eating vegetables and fruits, and families should take into account their children's eating habits and go the way of food consumption. Sweet foods with low nutritional value should be preferred. Find ways to eat regularly and in a healthy way. The child should be taught to eat slowly and chew food well. Carbonated and sugary drinks should be avoided. The child should be instructed to walk or cycle for commuting. Sweeteners should be avoided. Healthy foods such as chicken, cheese and eggs should be included in the school diet of children instead of gelatinous foods. Because the above-mentioned cases were not taken into account, the incidence of childhood obesity has increased in the world in recent years. It is also known that suicides among obese children are increasing. Children are known to be excluded by their peers because of their weight and suffer from severe insecurity due to these reasons. These situations, especially during adolescence, cause irreversible consequences. Therefore, ways to prevent obesity should be sought. As mentioned earlier, childhood obesity, unfortunately, is a disease. By paying attention to the above cases, families can prevent their children from becoming obese. In short, families need to act consciously to protect their children from obesity. Children should be socialized by finding a way to keep them away from technological gadgets such as phones, computers and tablets. In addition, families should encourage their children in sports. Apart from that, families should inculcate awareness of cutlery in their children. Because it is very important that parents and children eat at the same table.